superstars in the music industry or, in the movie industry, they're not really easy people to sit down, have a beer with, and talk to. They're not really approachable. Like, you can't really go up to Tom Cruise and say, "Hey, let's have a beer." Same thing with musicians like Billy Joel, Elton John. It's probably going to be tough. I mean, maybe when he was younger, Billy Joel, I used to hear go to all the bars in Long Island. I mean, now it's a little difficult. He's reached a certain level where, I mean, he's like a legend. Same thing with Bruce Springsteen. I mean, he used to go to all the bars in Asbury Park and stuff. But again, these are superstars, and it's a little harder to approach them. But in jazz, it's not. Okay, I've met a lot of superstars that, in terms of just in the jazz music industry. Like, I'll give you one story. I was in my early 20s. I was at a place called Sweet Basil's in Manhattan, and McCoy Tyner. You probably, if you're not a jazz lover, you probably won't know who he is. He was the piano player who played with John Coltrane. Okay, so I was, I think he had a trio that night. And, sitting down, I was having a beer, whatever. So when he took his first break, it's like you could just walk right up to him. You know what I mean? It's like a small little like jazz club, So I walked right up to him. I said, "McCoy," I said, "it would be an honor, man, if you could just sit down with me for 2 minutes. I'm a piano player. I would like to buy you a drink. I mean, you're my idol." And, I figured he was going to tell me get lost or something. He agreed. He said, "Of course." He says, he goes, "Let's do it. Let's sit down." He goes, "I'd love to talk to you about music." And I was just like, I was like, I mean? So I bought him a drink, and I think he got a screwdriver, if I remember. He said, "Just give me a screwdriver." So we sat down, and I was just like, "You are McCoy Tyner." I said, "You played with John Coltrane." I mean, my God. I was just like in like a trance. I couldn't believe I was talking to him, and he was just smiling at me. He created this very unique way of comping with his left hand. It was all fourths voicing, specifically, but like minor chords, like, if you're a musician, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you're playing a D minor, what he would do is play like an F, B, and an E. So you see it had that fourth voicing, and he would just keep, going up or down with it. So in other words, he'd go up a step, G, C, F, go up a step, A, D, G, go up a step, B, E, A. And he would hit the low D octave, boom, 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 and it was the most amazing, unique way of comping. And he's a legend, and I met him, and we talked for like 5 minutes, and, he was just telling me all about, all the wild experiences he had playing with John Coltrane. And I was just sitting back, and I just kept my mouth shut, and I was just in heaven listening to the most amazing stories by an amazing human being, an amazing piano player. That was one of the greatest days of my life. McCoy Tyner.